Hello and welcome to Precon Decon, the video series where I deconstruct the pre-constructed decks of Magic the Gathering's history. In this video we're going to look at the second Planeswalker deck from Dominaria, which is Teferi, Timebender, which is a white and blue deck. Let's take a look at the deck list. So we've got 23 creatures, 5 sorceries, 5 instants, 26 lands, and of course a single Planeswalker, and we've got mana curve off to the side there. So let's start looking at the contents of the deck. So the Planeswalker is Teferi, Timebender. So 4 a white and a blue for a 5 loyalty Planeswalker. I think we've established now this is now the average, like 6 mana for a 5 loyalty Planeswalker. His abilities I think are all pretty good. So +2 to untap up to 1 target artifact or creature. That's I think okay. The deck is actually full of artifacts, so that's actually a pretty good ability. His -3 is to you gain 2 life and draw 2 cards, which is fairly solid. And then -9, which actually it doesn't take that long to get up to, because his +2 is so you could cast him 10/6, go up to 7, 10 after that, go up to 9. Yeah, presumably he obviously takes no damage. But yeah, his -9 is then take an extra turn off this one, which is always a super strong effect to take an extra turn. So yeah, again, like all the kind of Planeswalker deck Planeswalkers, these abilities are all very straightforward, but these are all really solid. I really like all these abilities. They're yeah, this is I quite like this Teferi actually because some of the other Planeswalkers are quite narrow in their abilities. For example, like Huatli is the one I always go back to, where like all her abilities only care about dinosaurs, whereas Teferi, yeah, he's not wonderful compared to this is like the cheapest Teferi we can have, but like he slots into any deck, right? Which is great. So I think that's a good sign of these Planeswalkers being able to be taken out and put into other decks, and just be as like my first Planeswalker kind of thing. Yeah, I think Teferi's okay. And then his signature cards, so we've got 2 Nyambi Faithful Healer, so 1 a white and a blue for a 2/2, and all she does when she's got the ETB is to search up Teferi. So I think this is the cheapest Planeswalker search spell we've had so far, because yeah, she's just 3 mana to search him up, and yeah, and also she's not the first one to be a creature, because Huatli's Big Dinosaur was the first creature. She's definitely the first legendary creature to be a searcher. So yeah, this is I think really nice design. And it's his daughter as well, which is like a nice lore thing. Yeah, it's great. Yeah, so the cheapest, and also then she can come down fairly early because she's 3 mana. You can search up to very nice and early, and then she's there just to serve as a 2/2, which is perfectly fine. And then we've got 3 Teferi Sentinel. This is the Planeswalker buddy. So 5 mana for a 2/6. As long as you control the Teferi Planeswalker, it gets +4/+0, goes up to being a 6/6. So yeah, I suppose actually like 5 mana for a 2/6 artifact creature is like, I guess, kind of okay anyway, because it's just then a big dumb blocker. And then if you do get Teferi out, then it goes up to being a 6/6, which is okay. It's still a Planeswalker buddy. I still think they're not wonderful, but this is okay, I suppose. And then 4 Temporal Machinations, 2 and a blue. Return target creature to its owner's hand. If you control an artifact, draw a card. So this is it's sorcery speed bounce, which I typically don't like unless it's going to be like a really big effect, like bounce multiple things. But at least this is attacking on a card draw. It's only 3 mana. It's okay, I suppose. And there are a bunch of artifacts in the deck as well, so it's not a difficult condition to meet. Yeah, and we'll start looking at those artifacts now. So we've got 2 Joyra's Familiar, so 4 mana for a 2/2 flyer. Historic spells you cast cost 1 less to cast. So this is something I really liked in Dominaria, this bunching of historic things. So historic spells are artifacts, legendaries, and sagas, which were introduced in the set, and neither of these Planeswalker decks use sagas, which I think is a really big misstep. Because they were cool and new, and like you want to show them off, right? But well, it was what it was. So yeah, I really like this, and it sort of gives me hope that like I want to see more of this, like in future sets, like of batching stuff together. There was one I saw. This is a real tangent, but like there was one I saw like on I think like either like a Reddit post or like on the MTG Salvation forums or something like that. But someone suggested agile creatures, which were creatures with flying, haste, or first strike. Like, it could be things like agile creatures get +1/+1, or like your agile creature spells are 1 less to cast, that kind of thing. That would have been like group things with certain keywords, or like I just think that'd be cool. Or like group certain like creature types together. Well, this is the thing actually with the sea monster thing, we see it occasionally with like the Kraken, Leviathan, Octopus, Serpent. If they were batched to be like sea monster spells, and then it'd be like, oh, Kraken's, Octopus, Leviathan, yeah, that kind of thing, count as sea monsters. That could be kind of cool. So this kind of batching, I really like it. But yeah, anyway, sorry. Back to Jorah's Familiar. Yeah, it's just good, and it's just okay. A lot of the deck meets these criteria. So yeah, it's just really, really solid. Actually, yeah, it helps reduce the cost of both Teferi and Nyambi who search him up, so that's really nice as well. Yeah, really good. Really happy there's two of them in here actually. And then we've got 3 Aether Guiders, so 3 mana just for a 2/1 flying that can't block. Yeah, that's fine. At least it's evasive, I suppose. And then 2 Juggernaut. This is a reprint. It's only fair, I suppose. Chandra had Fire Elemental, and Llanowar War Elves as a reprint, so Teferi can have Juggernaut. 4 mana, 5/3. Attacks each combat if able. Can't be blocked by walls. Sure. Yeah, it was good. It was good at the time, I suppose, but it doesn't. I don't think it holds up as much now. It's okay, I suppose. Like it's still 5 power for 4 mana, I suppose. 2 Sparring Constructs, 1 mana. For 1/1, when it dies, you put a +1/+1 counter on target creature you control. Yeah, this is okay. I like kind of small creatures like this that, still like leave a lasting effect when they die. Like even if it's damage, like to kill off a creature or like you draw a card or something. I like small cheap creatures that give you something when they die. I like that. Got 2 Relic Runners, 1 in a blue for a 2/1. Can't be blocked if you cast a historic spell this turn. Again, the deck is like full of artifacts, and there's obviously a few legendary creatures in here as well, because that was a big theme of Dominaria. It was kind of like original Kamigawa done right. There was a lot of legendary matters and legendary permanents and stuff. Yeah, this is fine. It's just a 2/1 that's unblockable sometimes. So yeah, that's okay. So one of the res deck is Daring Archaeologist. So 3 and I'll wait for a 3/3. When it ends the battlefield, you may return a artifact card from your graveyard to your hand. So just that effect I think is fine to get one of the artifacts back. And whenever you cast a historic spell, like the artifact you might have just got back, Daring Archaeologist gets a +1/+1 counter. So yeah, this is fine. I think it can ramp up and be pretty strong without much effort, I think. So yeah, I like that. So the other random deck is Zahid, Djinn of the Lamp. So 4 and double blue for a 5/6. So obviously very reminiscent of the old Mahamoti Djinn. He's just 5/6 flyer. Has this alternate cost. You can get him down essentially like 2 turns earlier if you pay 3 in blue and tap an untapped artifact you control instead of its mana cost. So you've got like so many artifacts in the deck. Getting this down turn 4 would actually be really huge. Getting a 5/6 flyer down. Then so yeah, that'd be pretty good. So yeah, quite like Zahid. And then we've got Tetsuko Umezawa, Fugitive, so 1 in a blue for a 1/3. Creatures you control with power or toughness 1 or less can't be blocked. There's actually quite a few creatures in the deck that hit this criteria. Tetsuko herself, but then also, or himself, I don't know what their pronouns are. But yeah, you've actually got quite a few creatures which either have power or toughness 1 in the deck that meet this requirement. So yeah, Tetsuka is a really, really fun card, I think, especially at like just 2 mana. Because at the very least, it's 2 mana for a 1/3 unblockable. Yeah, I think that's fine. And then lovely Serra Angel. Teferi actually got 2 reprints. Got Juggernaut, you got Serra Angel as classic reprints. 3 in double white, 4/4 Flying Vigilance with lovely new artwork. Yeah, we all love Serra Angel. And then 3 Knight of New Benalia. So 1 in white just for a 3/1. Sure. Goes really nice with Tetsuko actually, because it's got a toughness 1. So having a 3 power unblockable for only 2 mana is pretty solid. And then non-creature spells, single Divination, 2 in a blue, sorcery, draw 2 cards. We all know what Divination does. Pour 1 out for Divination now being replaced by Quick Study from Wilds of Eldraine, but Divination has served us well. 2 Befuddle, 2 in a blue, instant type creature gets -4/-0, turn 10, draw a card. It's just a very sort of standard weak combat trick, I suppose, just so to take less damage, or like one of your blocking creatures survives. Sure, it's fine. You could actually, I suppose, do no, but then I was gonna say you could do some shenanigans with Tetsuko. You reduce the power of like one of your creatures, so then to make it unblockable, but then you've reduced its power, making it unblockable. Kind of pointless, I suppose. Anyway. And then 3 Gideon's Reproach, 1 in a white, does 4 damage to target attacking or blocking creature. 4 damage is not to be sneezed at for 2 mana. That's a very efficient white burn spell. So yeah, that's pretty good. I like that. And then 4 Meandering Rivers, which is white-blue tapland, and then 11 islands and 11 plains. So yeah, overall I think the deck's actually put together pretty well. I actually like it more than the Chandra deck, because I really like this historic theme. I kind of wish more had been done with it, hence why I suggested these cards here. So Board the Weatherlight I thought could be an option here, like just one of these maybe. So it's 1 white, and you look at the top 5, get a historic card from amongst them, and then put the rest on the bottom in a random order. So yeah, you just dig up for an artifact or potentially one of the legendary cards that you need. So that could have been okay. Teshar, Ancestor's Apostle. This could have maybe had instead of Zahid or the Archaeologist. So 3 white for a 2/2 flyer. Whenever you cast a historic spell, return a creature card with mana value 3 or less from your graveyard to the battlefield. So yeah, do a sort of a small resurrection. That's a pretty cool effect, I think. And also Raf Capuchin, just because he's in colour and he synergizes so well what the deck's doing. So 2 white and a blue for a 3/3 with flash and flying. So even on his own, that's like a fairly solid creature anyway. Like to be a 3/3 flash and flying for 4. And you can cast historic spells as though he had flash, which is, that's also a really solid ability. I think that could have been fitting really well. And then other potential like artifacts we could have had in here. Icy Manipulator was like a really nice reprint as well. 4 mana artifact, you pay 1 and tap target artifact, creature or land. Yeah, that could have been okay. Could have found room for that. 3 Skittering Surveyors. I just saw the casting cost and went mad. Skittering Surveyor, when it ends the battlefield, you may search your library for a basic land card, reveal it, put into your hand, and then shuffle your library. So just kind of a land search spell. Yeah, that could have just worked out, I suppose. I was just kind of spitballing on that one. And another alternate rare, Traxos, Scourge of Krug. So 4 mana for a 7/7 trample, but he enters the battlefield tapped and doesn't untap during your untap step, and only untaps when you cast a historic spell. But if you had Teferi out with his +2 ability to untap a creature or an artifact, that could have gone pretty well. That could have been a nice little potential combo to work for there. But also just a big 7/7 trample for only 4 mana. So that could have been cool. But like overall, I think this one's put together a little bit. I like the sort of like the synergies and the theme of using historic permanents like a lot more. I like that more than the Chandra deck with the kicker, which was still good, but I like this one a bit more, and that's rare for me to say about a blue-white deck, because it is my least favorite color combination, but I actually like what this one's doing. The other thing as well, I mean, I know it wasn't in the what could have been, but it would have been so nice for either of these decks to have sagas, because I said they were the shiny new card type, and it would have been nice to see one of these decks with the sagas. But anyway, let me know what you think in the comments down below. If you have any thoughts or stories or comments, opinions about this deck or any of the cards in it. Like, what do you think about historic? Like as a term, do you like that kind of like batching of things? Do you want to see like more of that in other sets, like where they batch certain things together? Yeah, what do you think about sagas? I know we didn't see any, but like I really like to know what people think of sagas. I think they're really cool, but I'd like to hear what other people's opinions are. Yeah, just stick a comment down below, give it a read. Always like doing that. But I'll be back next time with something a little bit special. We're going to take a tiny little interlude from looking at the main sets, talk about a very special pair of Planeswalker decks. So look forward to that, and I'll see you next time. And thanks for watching and listening, and have a great day.